British officers usually wore them to rank officer, even in the Revolutionary War. But the symbol was on the South Carolina militia's hats 20 years before the Revolutionary War. Colonel Moultrie, that's out at Fort Moultrie, a Revolutionary War fort built out of palmetto logs. Turns out when the British tried to fire on this fort in June of 1776, that the fort made out of the palmetto logs and 15 feet of sand, which I'm sure helped too, repel the cannonball fire from the British ships. And this symbol is on their hats. He puts it in a flag, a blue background with a crescent that says Liberty inside. So they would always have this crescent right in there. So the crescent in the South Carolina state flag is not the moon in the sky. I've heard people tell stories that the battle went on in the middle of the night. They stopped firing at about 9:05 because it got dark. So unless the moon was in the middle of the sky in the daytime, that definitely is not true. But this is what a soldier would have looked like. And this is Sergeant Jasper. Sergeant Jasper, actually those apartment buildings I told you about earlier, he was out at this particular battle. But this particular battle, Fort Moultrie, is the first major defeat of the Army and Navy of Great Britain as a whole in the Revolutionary War that far. And that's a year after Bunker Hill. And a lot of people don't realize how much Revolutionary War history Charleston has. This was kept for 2.5 years by the British as their southern base. Cornwallis was here, Clinton was here at one time. There were more Revolutionary War battles in South Carolina than any other state. There's 137 separate engagements. So a lot of militia were using guerrilla war tactics. So this monument is done 100 years after. It's called Defenders of Fort Moultrie. And he actually saved the flag out at the battle when it got cut down by a British shot. So he jumps up on the parapet, ties it around something, and then puts it back up.